You want to talk about it? I'd rather laugh about it. Let's get a little dark about it.
On the Traumedy Show.
Welcome to the Traumedy Show. I'm your co-host, Rachel Wilford.
And I'm your other co-host, Megan Wilford.
And today we have a really special guest and we're really excited about it. And her name is Danielle.
Yay! Welcome Danielle.
Danielle is the therapist of one of our best friends, Alexis. And we've had permission to share that.
Welcome Alexis's therapist.
Happy to be here.
As if this podcast couldn't be any more pro therapy.
Yeah, honestly.
That's one of my favorite things about it.
Yay!
I mean, she had shared that you guys were starting a podcast, and I am a big fan of podcasts. It's like we've talked about podcasts in therapy sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I want to check that out. I love a good story. So I listened to it and I really love what you guys are doing.
So cute.
Okay,
Yeah, Alexis texted me and she's like, so my therapist and I spent our whole session talking about your podcast and she's listened to every episode and she's so obsessed with it. And I was like, oh,
wow.
It's like the biggest compliment when a therapist is like endorsing what you're doing, you know?
The ultimate compliment.
Honestly.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I think, well, it's good. There's a big trend going on where people are sharing just kind of like their history and what's going on
Yeah.
and what they've been through, you know, the avenue of podcasts. And I think that's just such a great outlet because even in my own story, which I'll be sharing about today, you know, I was kind of desperate to seek out just stories or interviews or anything I could get my hands on about somebody who was going through something similar.
Yeah.
Because I felt really like alone and just isolated in what I was going through. And I was like, dude, like, this is insanity. Like, let me find someone that has a similar experience. And I did. And it just really, it helped a lot. So, and then, you know, I just love what you guys are doing too. Sharing. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have like found help through kind of what you've been through and just, like, saw their own selves through your stories. And
It's like group processing almost.
it is.
I don't know like the technical term for what it is. You would probably.
well,
but-
I mean, it is like a little bit of like group therapy type stuff going on where, you know, we have this ability to just share, you know, to whoever wants to listen and, you know.
It's like community building. One of these days we would love to have a sort of like Discord or Patreon or something, but for all of our Traumedians to also be able to like kind of connect and share because there's so many people who follow and listen. I feel like who have similar stories or are in a similar walk of life or millennial women. But not just them, but in general, I feel like a lot of our listeners have kind of built a little community and it's really nice to be able to hear someone validate you and share something.
So like, oh my gosh, me too. I you know, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
This has happened to other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times when you're going through stuff, you feel like I'm the only one.
Yeah.
And
No
then
one
you're
else
like,
has had any experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, a lot of times you don't want to share with family or friends because you want to protect certain parts of your relationship.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, so you look out to the interwebs, like who else has gone through this?
Yeah.
And so here we are. I hope that maybe someone can hear my story and just feel a little less alone.
That's like literally all I wanted when I was sharing mine too. And I actually couldn't
100%.
find anyone who resonated with my story, which is part of what made me want to share too. Because it was like,
And then so many people came out of the woodworks like, I resonate with your story.
yeah, it was very fulfilling.
Yeah.
So we got a little preview of your story and so I'm excited to dig more into it because we haven't really had any experience. Someone shares an experience like that. So I'm excited for anyone else who I know. I have some friends who've been with people similar to your ex too. So I'm excited for them to listen and excited to dig into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's dig in.
I'm
Well,
diving in.
Yeah, I don't know. Where do I start? So
You have a relationship story.
I do have a relationship story.
Okay.
And
what kind of therapist are you again?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor.
Okay.
LPCC in California.
Snaps.
Yeah, I've been practicing since I graduated in 2015.
Okay.
So
we're like the same age.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm 37 years old.
Oh,
and
well, we graduated the same year.
A little older.
Yeah.
Still a
We're both in
millennial.
the school at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Girl, you look so good.
Thank you. I do get that often.
Yeah, like actually, damn.
Somebody did check.
We need to have a separate segment of just like your skincare routine.
It's not skincare. Honestly, it's probably not skincare. I think it's just genetics.
Wow.
She's like, I'm just winning at life. I was just born this way.
For those who are listening and can't see, she is gorgeous. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, stop. I will come here more often. But so yeah, where do I start? So yeah, like I lived in Denver. I went to Denver for grad school.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved there in 2011. I think I was 24 years old. I took my time kind of through my grad school program. I was working at the same time. And at the end, you know, I was kind of dating off and on.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the beginning and kind of the, you know, like of internet dating and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So at the end of my school, it was like 4 years later, it took for me to get through school. And I was on the sites and
like OkCupid, Match.
I think that's the one that it was.
Was it OkCupid?
It was like the free janky one.
And what year was this? Was like
2015.
Oh,
At this point, when
I think
met my
sister met her husband on OkCupid in like 2015. And so I don't know why that was like
for OkCupid, maybe. I don't
a great year for OkCupid.
Business was booming.
This is before Bumble, and
Right.
I think Hinge was actually
Tinder.
maybe around. It was Tinder.
Yeah.
For a while it was like Tinder was the one for the sluts.
Yes.
And then everything else was
everything else,
And like
but
eHarmony for like
it was
yeah.
like Plenty of Fish was
Yeah.
another free
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I don't know, but
OkCupid was the one to be on at that time.
yes, right.
Yeah.
And you know, you're picky as one
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
And you know, I have always like had it in my heart. You know, marriage has always been a goal for me.
Mhm.
Like, you know, family has always been a goal. And, you know, so I'm like, okay, let's check out this internet dating.
Mhm.
And so went through a lot of different, you know, guys that weren't really looking for the same things or long term, you know, but eventually I did go out on a date with this guy.
Mhm.
Okay. And this is the guy we'll be talking about.
Mhm.
And this is 2015. You know, I'm almost 28 now, I think. And I am just about to graduate grad school with my master's in mental health counseling. And he was great. I mean, we went on a date and, you know, hit it off very quickly. I kind of like knew right away, like, okay, this one is something different. I really like this. You know, he talks about his family a lot. You know, we vibe very well, and it was just really easy conversation. And I was just kind of like willing to see how it ended up being. You know, I was like, kind of, let's go with this, right? So we go on a couple dates, and it is not very long after that I kind of noticed some like different behavior.
Okay.
Okay, so my story of trauma,
Uh-huh.
not necessarily trauma, but it begins pretty quickly into our relationship.
Mhm.
Okay. And mind you, I'm in grad school, so I know everything textbook about mental health.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I am just like, you know, I'm kind of like my red flags are going up pretty
Yeah.
quickly, actually.
Mhm.
And
Probably quicker than a lot of other people in that
Probably.
situation. I
Yeah.
assume.
honestly, right? But so I think it was only like our third date And it was one of those like, wow, I really, you know, it's easy to get to know you quickly sort of thing. It was just easy, right? And I felt really hopeful about this one. So on our third date, you know, he tells me to like get dressed up and we're going to go out and this and that. I didn't have many details, but he picks me up in this like Navigator sort of like town car sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, like very nice.
Is that a nice car?
I don't know. It's just, you know, like
a town car, like a... Yeah, like old fashioned kind of,
like an SUV, like Navigator, like very nice, like black car, like Uber.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's nice. So he didn't drive. Like, okay, very cool. So he's picking me up, you know, and we go to this hotel and like have drinks, and I'm familiar with the neighborhood too. So, you know, I'm like, oh, this is a nice hotel. And then, you know, we go to a restaurant, like have a nice meal. Okay. And then like, I'm noticing our conversation is a little odd, different, you know, he's talking about like, I don't even remember, right? This was 2015. So it's a while ago, but, I'm very keen on just like change of behavior. I'm like, okay, interesting. I don't know. Maybe like, I want to say almost it was like, is this guy coked out? Like, what's like, okay, like he's got a lot of energy. What's going on here? Oh. So I'm like, okay.
All over the place?
Yeah, kind of. But like, kind of like just really giddy and very talkative. And which I'm cool with. Like, I love a good time, but I'm like, you know,
this is different.
Like, this feels different. And so we go to pay and he takes out like a stack of $100. Okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. Great. You have cash on hand. You know, that's interesting. And then he like
doesn't help the Coke theory, really.
Well, no, and I was kind of going with that. I'm like, God damn it. Like, I'm going to have to like break things off with this guy.
Yeah.
He seems super cool. Right.
Yeah.
And so he goes to pay, and then I noticed that he's tipped the server 100% on the tab. Like, I don't know, maybe our bill was like $100 and he tipped the server $100. And I was like, okay. Like, is this his way of telling me like he has money? I don't know.
He's
like,
trying to be flashy.
Like, okay, it doesn't work on me, but oh well. Right? So I don't know. I'm still kind of like a little confused about this. I'm also in a place where I like really, really am like, I want so badly to be in a relationship. Like, you know, somebody that, and this guy felt different, you know? So I really wanted to kind of see it through and, you know, so I end up, you know, I guess he had booked like a hotel that night. He was going to stay in. He was supposed to go on a work trip the next day. And I'm like, yeah, I'll hang out in your hotel. Like, we'll just hang out. And so we end up going to sleep that night. And, you know, I don't know. It was like abruptly wakes up in the middle of the night. Okay. And I'm like, what is going on? And he like takes a shower and I'm like, where are you going? Like, do you have a work trip? Like, actually, it's not even time to get up yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's like, I just got to go. I don't know. I'm like, oh, where? He's like, I don't know. Vegas? I don't know. Somewhere.
What?
And I'm like, okay.
And it's like 4 a.m. or something crazy.
I mean, like, yeah, something like 3 or 4 a.m. I'm like, okay. All right. Okay. This is interesting behavior. I'm kind of like piecing things together. Here, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, cool. Like, you do you. Like, I'm going to go home.
I'm going to go home. You go to Vegas.
Like,
and
yeah, cool. Like,
we'll talk another time.
You also have a work trip in Florida that you're supposed to be at. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Like, honestly, I don't have time for this. Like, I felt, you know, that gut feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
something's not right.
This doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That gut feeling that you're supposed to listen to. Like,
you're like, spoiler alert, like, I didn't.
You know, spoiler alert, but not, you know, 4.5 years later.
Well, yeah, we know that gut feeling.
Right. Yes. So lesson learned. Right? But so, you know, I go home. I'm actually very close to like where I live.
Yeah.
Okay, in Denver. And so that's that. Right?
Yeah.
I kind of go on with my life and I'm kind of just like, well, that's kind of a bummer. That was odd. But okay.
Yeah.
And
so you're thinking at this point, you're not really going to see him again.
No.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, that was red flags. That didn't feel right. Like, okay. And then he proceeds to kind of like, I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but it might have been a few days where he would like leave flowers at my door.
Oh.
You know, like little gifts here and there at my door. Like he's still trying to catch my attention. And I'm like, okay, that's weird too. Right. And so whatever. It's kind of a weird week. And then I don't really think about it. But I kind of am still thinking about it because I'm like, what's up with this dude? Like, and I'm telling you, like, in our couple dates before I kind of got weird vibes, like, we really connected. You know, those, like, dates where you're just like, oh, my gosh. Like, wow. Like, that was totally different. I really love that. Right? So, I didn't hear from him for a little bit. Like he would call me this and that, right? I wouldn't hear from him too much. And then I got like a phone call from a hospital. Okay. So now I'm finding out like, okay, this guy's in a mental hospital. Okay. And
I called you?
He called me. He called me. Okay.
I just got chills.
Really?
Yeah, that's unexpected. This guy that you went on 3 dates with
called me from the mental hospital.
He's like, this is my wife.
You guys. I'm like, okay. And all the time I am thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, I know all this knowledge, this book knowledge about mental health disorders. This guy's got something, you know? Like, that wasn't, you know, maybe he's on drugs, but no, I think it was a little more like kind of bizarre feeling, or, you know, just like kind of odd behavior. And I was like, I think this guy's bipolar. Like, I think he's maybe having a manic episode. Like, just the way that he was acting, the way that he was flashing the money and spending the money, like the grandiose kind of behavior, the way he was talking about himself and
waking up at 4 a.m. and deciding to go to Vegas.
I was like, and he can't sleep. Like, all these things. And like, check. Okay. Well, and then he calls me in the hospital and I just, you know, I felt bad for him.
Yeah, of course.
Know, I was like, wow, you know, I really connected with him. And I was like, okay, I feel like I can be this guy's friend. Like, and just like kind of support him through this time. Right. And so, you know, he gets out of the hospital eventually. And, I mean, eventually, you know, and I am continuing to be his friend. And eventually he, you know, kind of starts to become that guy that I like kind of met those first couple dates. And it kind of ended up being this, you know, instant connection again. And we really connected. And
did he know he was bipolar?
Yes. So, okay. Yeah. Good question. So like when he had called me and he was very quickly to open up. And say, you know, I've been bipolar, you know, since I was like 21 was my first episode or whatever, sometime in college, right?
Yeah.
And he was just super open about it. And actually, to come to find out, he had been married a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Did he tell you that right then?
Pretty
He's
quickly.
like, I'm just going to open up everything.
He was like, no hiding anything. Like, this is who I am, right? And I actually really appreciated that too.
Yeah.
Right? Here's this guy that is going through something, you know, like it's not his fault at all.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of understand that, you know, from a mental health perspective. And and he's so kind, and you know, he really wants to get to know me. And you know, like I feel like I just, you know, there still were red flags, and I was kind of in this place where I was like willing to ignore those red flags, you know, because I was just really like putting myself in the moment and really going with my feelings, and I really wanted that, you know. And here was a guy that was treating me just very well, and you know, making me feel really special.
When you're also in a place where you know you want to be in a relationship,
100%.
you know what your goals are, you want to get married. You kind of, it's hard, it's easy to have like tunnel vision.
Yes.
Be like,
absolutely.
well, this person's in front of me and
rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
And you're a therapist, you can understand
there's a lot of
him.
empathy,
Yes.
that I have because
maybe,
I understand like this is not something that this kid signed up for. Like
right.
He's showing me who he is, and he's now consistent with who he truly is. Like, I don't know. I started to forget about that, like, you know, season of his Manic episode.
Maybe really, even this sense of like you felt equipped to even handle it.
Yes.
Because you are a professional in that field.
I mean, if he's going to be with anyone,
exactly.
maybe he should be with a therapist.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe I could be the one to help him. And, you know, like in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, no, you don't think like that. Like, that's not right. That's codependency. And
like savior.
No, you're not saving him.
Yeah.
You know, like he's doing his thing. Like you're just really appreciating this man and who he is. And then when I tell you, like, he truly was and checked all of the markers for me. When he was in a stable place. Like he truly was someone that I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I really like this guy. Like he's all the right things, you know, treats me well, has a great relationship with his family. Like I saw him with his nieces and nephew. Like he would be a great father, like all these things, right?
Yeah.
And so we end up being in a serious relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, things are going great. And
you're really, like 29 at this point? 28?
I had just turned 28, I believe.
Okay.
In 2015, right? So, and something that I really appreciate about him too was, okay, when he went through this Manic episode, he kind of lost his job. Like he lost, like, these are catastrophic episodes for him. Okay. Because he really just is unable to be himself and work and show up in life like he normally does. And so there's consequences, right? And so but what I saw was after this episode, I saw him rebuild his life and get a new job, an even better job, and like all these great things. And I was like, wow, that takes a lot, you know, like that's amazing. And you know, I always really value hard work and just what it takes to kind of get back out there. And I was like, I find that really attractive. Right.
Yeah.
And so that was another piece of me just like kind of normalizing what we had been through. Right? Yeah. And kind of building him up and being and justifying. Right.
I can validate that. That sounds like green flags to me, to be honest, at this point.
Let me tell you, like, that's what makes this story really difficult. Because there were so many green flags and so many things. And okay, it was, I think, like 9 months before that we were dating then, before he had his next Manic episode.
Got it.
And so bipolar, I mean, I can kind of describe a little bit about what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, please. Yeah. I feel like I don't
people
much.
Use that language often just to describe somebody who's like up and down, like, oh, 1 minute they're happy and then they're pissed off and blah, blah, blah. Right. And it's just so more complicated than that. I mean, bipolar there's 2 forms of bipolar, technically 3, but 2 forms of bipolar. Bipolar 1, which is what my ex had, and bipolar 2. Bipolar 1 is about you have to have manic episodes. So manic episodes are just behavior where it really is about sleep. Often it's like you have a whole lot of energy and don't need a whole lot of sleep. And this really can affect a lot of your behaviors in life, right? And so quite often people will also have just really intense, grandiose behavior. So they think they're the shit, right? And they have just all this energy to, get into different projects or sign up for like this amazing thing, right? And oftentimes it's paired with just like intense, like fast thoughts. Like you're just thinking pretty intense, fast thoughts. And so your sleep is affected. I mean, and I don't even want to say that it's a blanket statement because everybody's experience can look really different.
Yeah.
But for my ex, it did involve like episodes of psychosis. Like he would experience like delusions or paranoia. I mean, things would just happen that would not make sense at all. Okay. And you're just like completely losing this person that you love. It's like, person that you know and love is not in the building. Like he has exited the chat. And so it's really catastrophic for the partner to experience that, especially if you have a partner who is very stable when they're not manic.
Yeah.
I mean, he was able to hold a job and able to really climb the ladder in all of his jobs too very quickly. Like oftentimes people who struggle with bipolar do happen to be very smart and successful people. And that is really what kind of trips people up because it's like, oh my gosh, like what? Like,
is there any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was why? Or that's so interesting. The correlation.
There is something.
Do you think they like overcompensate or like what?
You know,
is there research on that? That's so interesting.
It's so hard. I mean, they are doing more research, but it's not there where it needs to be for people to have their answers and to completely understand the illness. You know, it's like a neurotransmitter issue, and you know. Honestly, you know, oftentimes people are just really smart, you know, and very just like, you know, they do well in so many areas of their life. And then boom, manic episode. And it just like, you know.
Are the manic episodes typically just random or are they kind of triggered most of the time by something?
For him, it was because I was looking for patterns. I was looking for ways to control this and figure it out and fix it. Okay. So. Oftentimes it could be triggered, and this is the really sad part. It can be triggered by really exciting, happy things that happen in your life, any sort of like transition or shift. So sometimes it's like something really exciting happens and it's like, boom, manic episode. Okay. It's really, really based on your sleep. And so time changes can really affect people, or traveling with different time zones can really affect people. So it's like, okay, you're having this great vacation and all of a sudden, nope. Yeah, mania is coming, right?
No.
Like for some people, that's why it's so important for people to understand their triggers and to understand like, what is it for me that kind of gets me out of sync? Right?
Yeah.
It can be stressful life events. It can be... which can be positive sometimes, like stressful life events, right? It could be diet, it could be alcohol consumption and substance use, like all kinds of
lot of things.
You know? How long do manic episodes typically last?
It's different for everyone, but for my ex, I mean, I think he had kind of treatment resistant kind of bipolar
because he was like on medication and it wasn't
medication.
Like preventative everyday medication.
He was on lithium every single day.
Treatment resistant as in like, do you think that was an internal like mental thing, or his body or his brain was just like,
it's just a brain disorder?
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I mean, that is why it is so tragic, because you meet these amazing people, you feel like you really connect with them and know them and love them, they love you back. And it's like bipolar. No, I'm serious. Like, it's insane, right?
Yeah.
Like, and bipolar does not ask, like, if it's a good time. It does not ask, like, you know, any questions. It like, just literally comes in and it's like a tornado. Okay. So for him, his episodes were like 2 months long.
Oh my gosh, Danielle. Oh, that is such a long time.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking like a week or two.
And for some people, it is a week or maybe like a couple days, right?
Yeah.
But for him, it was like, I mean, because I even like, you know, I have notes and I wrote down all of this stuff actually years ago. I
were you tracking his episodes?
I was tracking his episodes.
Oh my gosh.
I have like nonstop chills right now. This is
just wait, okay.
Oh my gosh.
And listen, you know, it's been, you know, eventually I ended our relationship in 2019. So I've done a lot of healing around this, and I feel, you know, I'm good. You know, but I can totally understand how hearing this for the first time would be like, wow, okay. And, you know, it was my life for 4.5 years.
Oh, it's heavy to like have a partner and then all of a sudden for 2 months, they are not that person.
They are not them.
You don't know when they're coming back. You don't know what they're going to do.
But guess what? He always came back. And he always came back exactly how I knew him. Okay. And that's the stuff that messed with my brain. And that is why you're talking to somebody who stayed in a relationship with someone amazing. I'm telling you, I still think he's amazing. Okay. For 4.5 years and was able to justify that kind of life.
Yeah.
For 4.5 years.
Of course.
I'm getting the chills now. Like, it's sad, right?
Yeah, as an empath who I've also had therapy today, and I feel like I'm already
you're like
emotional. For the listeners, I'm definitely crying. Even just like thinking of this situation, I can totally understand why you would stay. We haven't even really gotten into it. I'm already like, oh my gosh, that's so hard.
Like, what do I share? Because there's so many things that went down.
Right.
So many ups and downs. But I mean, okay. So, and also mind you, like from the first episode, I barely knew him, right? But I was like, I kind of like this guy. He's kind of cool.
Right.
And
that was like baseline. That was like your first meeting of him too was like,
I knew
you were thrown into
to know him.
Yeah.
That's the guy that I was like kind of into. And then I was like, wait, this is different. I don't think so. I don't think I want to date that guy. But then when I was like starting to be his friend, I, you know, was like, wait, I do like this guy. And he ended up being totally himself. And then I ended up falling in love with him. And then he didn't have his next episode until 9 months later.
When you're so deep.
I
mean,
and
some
loaded.
people get married within that time.
Right.
You are locked in.
I mean, 100%. I love this guy. Right.
So of course you're going to.
And I saw him taking his medication. I saw him being super open about his disorder. I saw him going to therapy, like all of the right things to try and help himself. And I was like, green flags. Like, I could totally date someone with a mental health disorder. Like, I totally understand this, right? But I didn't. And what I want to say is that there just really isn't a lot of people who talk about this. I think it is a really isolating experience. And it's so like confusing, and everyone has a different experience too. And maybe a lot of people get hurt along the way and don't shed light to it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they're like, F that guy. Like, I don't want to talk about him. Like, but like, I still have such a like soft place in my heart for this person because he was an amazing person. He still is, right? I don't talk to him anymore, but he still is.
Yeah.
But so 9 months later, he has another episode. And then I'm like, oh shit, like this is really intense, right? But he tried doing all the right things. I mean, you know, like took his medication, went to a psychiatrist right away, got on a med plan. And for him,
when it started, he started doing all the right things.
Right away. He's like, I have to talk to you about something. Like, I didn't get good sleep last night. This is usually a sign. Like, it is all about the sleep. Like, if he wakes up at 3 a.m. with energy, wanting to go to the gym, wanting to, you know, like work on, you know, do anything for work, like, you know, seize the day. That is not that's normal scary. Behavior.
Yeah.
And that, he's inching towards a manic episode. And for him, because bipolar 1 is when you have full-blown manic episodes. These are episodes that catastrophically like uproot your life. Okay. A lot of people will lose their jobs. They will have like intense just relationship turmoil that comes from that. There are people that have gone into full-blown bankruptcy or just like spent every cent that they have. Okay.
Wow.
Or had bought cars.
Okay.
Or, you know, sometimes for people, it's like they are promiscuous. Maybe they have like sexual encounters that are like really like character to themselves often.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's a lot of like reckless, impulsive kind of behavior.
Impulsive behavior.
Mhm.
Like for my ex, it was lots of money spent. It was driving his car and really fast, erratically.
Scary.
Really scary. It was, he was wanting to walk all the time because you have a lot of energy and you want to get it out. Okay.
Yeah.
So like he'd want to like walk, and he was previously like a really successful marathon runner too.
Got it.
So, which I think helped him in his recovery previously, but when I was dating him, he was not really doing the marathon thing anymore. So he'd want to walk. For him, it was like really odd. Like he'd always want to get on a plane and go somewhere. Like, and he didn't care where, or like, I don't know. And then it got to a point where it was like the psychotic thoughts would come in. Like it wasn't fun anymore. It was fun until it wasn't fun for him. And it would be like, someone's out to get me. Okay. Like someone's following me. It got really scary. Right. And then
paranoia.
Or he would think that like a lot of it was like religiosity. Like he'd have a lot of religious kind of thoughts, and he'd feel like God was talking to him, and that like God was giving him like a message, or God was sending him on this thing that he had to like save the world, like just wild things, you know?
How are you handling that during that episode?
I mean,
like, how do you even have a relationship or try to like help him out of it during it?
Well, I mean, so within our time together, there was about 5 manic episodes.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So in 4.5 years.
Each
And
about
they were
2 months long.
That's like a year almost of manic episode dealing.
So that's, I think, just, you know, I for sure believe that there was like, I dealt with trauma dealing with all of this.
Oh,
You know, I mean, 100%. I was
Yes.
like, oh, I think I understand trauma a little bit better as a therapist.
Yeah.
You know,
as a couple of non-professionals, we can definitely diagnose you with you had some trauma.
100%. But it was like 2 months, and it was like so chaotic that it felt very long, but also like kind of like it was so insane that it went by really fast too. Okay. Like,
yeah.
And so where was my...
He had his first big break, and you were talking, or the first one after you've been together for 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, let me look at my notes here. Yeah. I mean, we went through it. I mean, and I, at this point, was really, really attached to him and did love him and wanted to see it through. And, you know, I was like, well, maybe there's things that we can do. So let me research, like, let me talk to the right people. Let me, you know, I'm like also thinking from this, like from a therapeutic standpoint,
of course.
like all these things, like maybe there's something we can do. Like maybe we just aren't doing it right, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, that I think that's where some of the codependency early on, like kind of came in, you know? Thinking actually too, like maybe he wouldn't be okay if I wasn't around. Like, I don't know, like maybe he needs me. I could help him.
You took it upon yourself to try to fix him.
100%. And also, by the way, I'm trying to be a therapist at this time.
Yeah. Like in your personal life at this time, throughout these like 4 years, are you like building your career? Like what's going on for you?
I mean, I'm working at a nonprofit organization, and I'm working at a school. And, you know, it was all great until it wasn't, you know, in that season where he was going through a manic episode. And I just remember in those times where he wasn't doing well, like my mind was definitely somewhere else. I mean, I was constantly checking his location, you know, trying to make sure that he was okay. And yeah, it was pretty wild. But then like and every time it became very familiar, but he would get to this place where it was like, I describe it as like a KO moment, like knockout, just like boom. And by the way, he'd have to be hospitalized to get to this point too. Right. And that's common for a lot of people who have bipolar 1. And
would you put him in the hospital, or would he admit himself? He would. He would be like, actually, this is it.
Himself, like, it was really interesting. He would know that that's where he needed to be. Yeah. Sometimes. Or that's where historically he's found the stability again, is in the hospital, because for somebody who is going through a manic episode, their thoughts are just all over the place, and there's so much stimulation out there in the world, so many people, like, you know, his car is at access to him, you know, alcohol, you just need to kind of like go somewhere else to where none of that stuff is around. Yeah. So it was very often times that he would like seek out hospitalization. Yeah. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm, so this happens a couple more times, before we decide that we were going to move to California. Okay. So we lived in Colorado. That's where I met him and started my career. Yeah. And then I did get to a place where I was really missing my family. My dad's health wasn't well, and I was going through this stuff with my ex, and I was just like, I just miss my family. Right. And he was in a really good place at that time too. So it was like, okay, let's do this together. Like, let's see, maybe even a move will fix this. Like, yeah. Like, what else can we try?
The ocean.
Yeah. The ocean is great.
It is.
No, of course it is.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, okay, so I'm like, okay, he's coming with me. Like, let's try it out, right?
At that point, did you have your heart set on marriage? Or were you guys talking about it?
I think it was like, maybe even in the beginning of our relationship, it was like, this is why I date, is to eventually get married, right? Yeah. And dating intentionally. And so that's kind of the trajectory that it would go in. Yeah. But so by the time we moved to California, we'd been together for like a couple years. Okay. And I'm looking at my notes. I don't know if you can tell, but like, so, so by the time we moved to California, I think he had been through 3 manic episodes. Okay. Okay. So I kind of know how this goes, but like, also, it's just like, it was so crazy, just like how much he was himself after an episode. And I was like, and that's, I think, what would get me through these times is like, okay, just hold on. Just do this insanity until you know that he's going to come back. You know that it's going to be okay. You know that you're going to get to like embrace him, and he's going to embrace you back. Like, eventually, right? You just have to get through it, right? And so we moved to California, and he's actually manic free for 2 years.
Oh wow.
2 years.
Wow. So you thought California fixed it?
Yeah, I think there definitely was a part of me that was like, maybe the move was right. Okay, maybe this is exactly what he needed. Yeah. Maybe all the maybes, like all the maybes. And I'm telling you, like 2 years is a long time.
That's a long time. Yes.
2 years, right?
And at this age, like, yeah, a lot can happen.
Oh my gosh. I'm surprised I didn't get married to the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, and then there's God that helps you through. And and also during this time in California, I'm getting a little bit closer to my faith too. So I come from a Christian faith, and also I'm like, maybe that's why too. Like maybe like God is like really blessing this, and we're exactly where we need to be, this and that, right? And all the pieces are coming together. And it's during this time that we actually get engaged too. So he proposed to me. And that was in 2018, right? So
okay.
we moved.
That's when I got engaged. Oh my God.
The first time or the
first time. Fucking engagement twins.
Married for 2 years at that point. Which is crazy because I was 24.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, we get engaged and I'm like, okay, like, I think I can do this. This is it for sure. Like, I think we found our thing. Like, you know, we found the right place, the right meds, the right everything, right?
Yeah.
And so really excited. Things are going really well. And then so we get engaged like June of 2018. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then in February of 2019.
Okay.
June, July, August,
like 6 months.
November, December, January. 8 months later.
Wow.
Oh, no. Sorry. December of 2018.
Oh,
so we
okay.
get engaged June of 2018. So like 6 months later.
Yeah.
He has another Manic episode.
Like around Christmas.
Yeah. And it was around Christmas. Yeah. And
I'm sure you're just devastated.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, this is happening again.
It had been 2 years since the last one.
It had been 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, a lot can happen in 2 years, right? You get really comfortable and confident in your relationship in 2 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is the man that I'm going to marry, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. So we had another Manic episode. I mean, it gets so crazy at times. Like, and I would not share all of the details with my family.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think anyone who is wanting to protect their partner, just in case things work out, just in case there's a freaking miracle, you don't want that your friends and family, like their thoughts of your partner
Tainted
to be clouded by the truth and what's really going on. And, you know, so I did do a lot of like kind of protecting maybe some of the details. My family did totally know. Yeah. And I was, you know, they knew, and he was really close with my family too. And I had, you know, and that's the thing. I had so many people telling me how much they loved him as well. But then they'd see this other side of him and they, you know, my parents, you know, they started getting a little fearful of what was going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, also they really trusted my opinion and they knew that I was going to figure it out. They didn't want to kind of push me away or share their opinion too much, maybe for fear that I was going to push me away or something. And, you know, so that happened, you know? So he had another episode. I mean, I was kind of thinking of like, how can I like share with you guys how intense it got? I mean, there was one time that, I don't know, he was going through an episode and I just wanted to get away. So I went out to dinner with some friends and my sister, and, you know, all of a sudden I get a phone call from him and he's like talking pretty erratically on the phone, and he's like talking about like stuff that doesn't make sense, like a neighbor who parked, you know, incorrectly in our, you know, in our parking lot, and he's like, I'm gonna beat him up and this and that, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah, okay, I gotta go home, I gotta like take care of a situation, right? So, you know, come to find out, he started, it's just stuff that doesn't make sense, you know, but he like blew out all of the windows of his car.
What?
Yeah, he just like took a baseball bat to his BMW. Like, like that kind of stuff. Like, you know, it's the psychosis that starts to come in where things do not make sense and someone is out to get you. And, like, it's getting scary, right?
Did you ever feel scared for your own safety? Or did your family as well?
I'm sure my family was a little bit fearful.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but I wasn't really sharing all the scary things with them. I personally knew that it was possible. Like if I see a whole nother level of what I've seen already, like maybe it could be dangerous for my life or something like that. But I still never really was fearful because I always like saw him, like I could always kind of get to him and like, talk him through. But I mean, there was one time too, we were like in his car and we were going to the movie theaters and all of a sudden he like lifts up the glove compartment and I see like, I mean, you're going to think this is insane that I didn't think that my life was like not okay or in jeopardy, but there was a gun. What I thought was a gun. Okay. It looked like a gun. It was a BB gun. Oh, but still, like, those things can look very real. And in my head, I thought, oh my gosh, that's a gun. Okay. Like,
well, you just convince yourself. You can convince yourself of anything.
100%. Yeah. And then when you see the man that you love at the end of that, like, you know, you don't ask questions because you're like, oh, I have my person back. Oh, he's back.
He would never do that to me.
Never hurt me, you know, and he truly wouldn't, you know. And so you're just like kind of accepting all these insane things that happen.
Was he still spending money during the crises?
So that was a big thing about it too. So at this point we're living together. Yeah. And we decide, you know, and now we're engaged. So we're like, okay, like and he is very open to what can I do to help myself if this happens again. Yeah. Okay. So he's like, okay, we're going to just like have a joint account and he's going to put all of his money in that account. And he does not get like he had a separate account that I would transfer him money. Like an allowance.
Like you were the controller of the finances on purpose. Yes, I was the controller of
the finances once we got engaged. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Because that's a huge burden on you, but also shows that he really is trying. Yeah. Yeah.
Like he is putting all of his trust in me. Like, and he knows that like this is an issue when he gets manic and he doesn't want to spend all of his money. Like, like post manic him would be so just like, what just happened? It felt like a fever dream. It was just like, what did that just really happen? And how did I ruin my life? And like all this stuff. And I lost my job and like all this stuff. Right.
Oh my gosh.
And so he was super open to getting that support. And like, if and when I become manic again, like you will have control of the money. Wow. I don't want a credit card. I want a simple debit card that you transfer money to me. Yeah. Right. And so he was putting all of his income into direct deposit into our shared bank account. Whoa. Right. Wow. And I was actually it was my bank account. Whoa. I was the one that was the only one that was able to
crazy level of trust. Yes. Not being married even too. Yeah. Like that is
and to me, I'm thinking this shows that he wants help. Yeah. He does not want to do this. Like, I think we can do this. Like, this is our plan. It was always like, okay, what's the plan? What did we learn from the last episode? What's the new plan? What can we do better? Because I'm like, if I'm going to do forever with this guy, like we need some plans in place. Right. Right. And he was always open to it. Manic was not open to it. Yeah. Okay. Manic would be like, you're controlling everything. Like, what are you doing? And that's when it became a burden, was like, you're just trying to control my finances, or you're trying to, I don't even know. But like,
and you're like, yes, I am. Actually,
I am. And it's also my money in here now too. But I was like, oh man, this is not a good idea. You know? But
that puts you in an unsafe position, or like to be for 2 months, have to be in control of his money and his behavior, and to feel like I am responsible. Right. And then not knowing when it's going to end. No, just being like, okay. And also there would be points where I was trying to manage his medication too. Like, did you take your medication? Like, and he was totally fine with me, you know, stable him was totally fine with me,
helping him out with that, like, like appreciative of the support that he was getting. But, when he was not in a good place, I was suddenly the enemy and like this is the real him. And I'm trying to
Jekyll and Hyde.
100%. Yeah. 100%. It was just crazy.
That's an insane amount of stress on you.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, eventually I do kind of become like a shell of a person in some ways. Like in these seasons, I'm just like trying to be strong.
Survive.
I'm trying to this and that. I mean, I'm just trying to be a freaking therapist and help other people. I'm like, this is insane.
I can't even imagine talking to someone else who maybe like, I'm not going to minimize anyone's problems, but when you're going through something and then to try to help other people, that's really hard.
No.
Yeah.
I really don't even feel like I really got into my therapeutic groove until I ended our relationship.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because I was, even when things were good, I was still like, when's the other shoe gonna drop?
Yeah.
Like, when's it gonna happen again?
Yeah.
I lost a part of myself like through this relationship. My confidence just, I saw, and I don't know for sure, like, but I saw like relationships change too, like my friendships, like friends maybe slowly exiting, like, I don't know if I can do this or support this. And
like it was hard for them to support you when he was having those manic breaks.
I think so, because I think they did understand too why maybe I had stayed or what was going on, right? Like they knew the person that I loved too. Like they got to know him too. And so it's like, but when it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
Everyone is kind of trying to protect their own peace.
and good for them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
but that is hard in your position then. Because then you're like, oh.
Yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah.
But
so after that, so he had that break in December.
Yeah.
You had been engaged for 6 months.
So yeah, we had been engaged for 6 months. I did tell him, at that point during that episode, we had kind of put a pause on the wedding, because we were going to get married in October 2019.
Okay. And had you done a lot of planning already at that point?
So we kind of started loosely planning. We had found like a venue and I had gotten a dress. But it wasn't a ton.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We were kind of like starting to be into that stage of really planning. And then it kind of like halted. Right. So we said, okay, let's take a break. Let's find another date. And, after that episode, once again, things went back to normal. Like, we just kind of went back to our kind of day to day. And then I want to say 8 months later, he had another episode.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had already, set another date for our wedding. Because once the dust settled, we're like, okay,
right,
let's do this. And at this point, I was really like into my faith and seeking God for an answer.
Yeah.
I came to this point where I was like, okay, God, like, my situation, you see what's going on. You know why I've stayed. You understand my heart and the situation. And I don't feel like I can leave, because at this point, there was a part of me, I wouldn't have ever said it out loud, but there's a part of me that thought like, I can't leave him because he needs me, right? Like, who is he going to be without my support, right? He's never going to be okay without me, which is just codependency 101.
Yeah.
I'm putting his needs before mine. His happy, like all these things, like, who is he going to be without me? Right. And so I'm like, God, you need to show me, like, you need to make things clear. And I mean, like, let something happen. I'm even allowing it to be bad.
Yeah.
Let something happen that makes me go, nope. Okay. Yeah. Done. Like, I need that to happen. I need that sign.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a lot of confirmation along the way that it was going to still end in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in my own mind.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
There was even a point where we were really coming together on like what we could do with this terrible situation.
Yeah.
Because he was like, man, there's no support groups out there for people who are just like actually successful. You know, like every support group that I try to go to, it's people who are like on disability and have kind of given up. Like, where are all the successful people out there?
Yeah.
Which there are a lot. Okay. And so he's like, we're thinking, okay, let's start a support group. Like, let's do something with this craziness that has happened. Like, let's
make
together.
something good out of
like,
it. Yeah.
Let's be spokespersons for like this disorder and like, you know, show that actually a healthy relationship can even happen. You know, he's getting support, all this. And so that and then eventually God kind of did like show me the end, and which ended up with Secret Service in my living room.
What
wow.
a teaser.
Right?
Yep. So that's a good place to stop.
What a great cliffhanger. Secret Service.
Yeah, we're going to break this one up into 2 parts because it's just so good and so juicy. And Danielle's got so many good little nuggets that we're going to spread out over 2 weeks.
Oh, and this is Megan from the future who just finished recording part 2. It is really good. So you're going to want to listen to the next part. You're going to want to listen to part 2.
Yeah. So stay tuned for next week. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps. And it's going to help this podcast reach people who really need to hear it. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the.traumedy.show.
Bye.
Your first podcast episode.
I guess I topped this up.
Me?
Yeah.
When I tell you that I've always wanted to be on a podcast.
Really?
I swear. I really have.
Yay!
Actually, in my preparation for this, I was kind of going through old journals and different things. And I don't know when, but there was like a goals thing that I had filled out or written down. And one of my goals was to be a guest on a podcast.
That's so cute.
And here I am.
What?
We need to put that in.
I know we will. Will you send us a picture of that? That's
Yes.
so cute. I want to see your little goal. That's cute.
No, because podcasts have like, I'll let you know. Like, there's a story behind this too with the podcast.
Part of it.